Welcome to the Sisterhood Collective podcast, where we empower women to break barriers, overcome limiting beliefs, and achieve true success. I'm your host, Laurie, entrepreneur and founder of 5 successful businesses. Join me as I share proven strategies, interview inspirational leaders, and provide behind-the-scenes insights to help you level up in your business, career, and in life. Because together, we can get further faster. Okay, let's dive in. A question I often get asked is, I'm not quite sure how to start a business, but I need to earn extra money or I need to change my career lifestyle. And then there's always these couple of reasons why they haven't done it. And firstly, it could be the fact that they have decided that they're too old and they wish they had have done it once upon a time. And when I say old, we're talking like mid-40s here, people saying this to me, which is so young still. And other people have ideas of a business or some sort of business idea, or you could call it a side hustle if you like, but they don't know where to start. And today I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about how I started some of my businesses, because a piece of advice I will often give someone is just start. We don't always have the answers. And I can tell you many times I've set out a business plan, which now I kind of refer to it as a guide, because it's not too often that I follow it. And there are businesses that like to have everything completely sorted and planned out, and that's fabulous as well. But for some of these smaller businesses or for an idea or something that you're doing on the side, you don't have to have everything mapped out, just like we don't in life. But for some reason, we always end up standing on 2 feet and, successful in our own right. When I started my first business, it was an idea and it was a passion idea. It was one of those things where I was really passionate about a particular area. And I was like, I want to share this with other people. And then on top of that, because it was a gym, my thought process was, I need to and I want to help people get fitter. And I need to and I want to see people achieve things that they never thought that they could achieve before. Anyway, firstly, I've never done business before in my life. This was a good 12 years ago. And I happened to be in the US, living over there at the time. And I'd be up really late at night, every single night, planning out all these things about my business, what I'm going to call it, how many staff I had, how much I paid the staff, the schedule of the gym activities, and then the fear of what if no one came? What if I don't know how to teach someone something specific? And I'm talking, this kept me up late every night. I was ending up getting like 2 to 3 hours sleep because there's just so much going through my head. So I grabbed an old school notebook, and this is where I would start to put down all of my ideas. So when someone says to me, I want to start a business, but I don't know what sort of business to do, my response to that is a couple of things. You need to either find something you're passionate about or find a solution to somebody else's problem. And for me, initially, it was something that I was passionate about. Fast forward a little bit later, when I opened the coffee shop, I saw a need. So I was holidaying in a location. I went off for coffee. I do like myself a nice coffee, of course. And I didn't like the coffee, nor did I like the service. And I thought, oh, geez, I just feel like there is an opportunity for a really good coffee shop with really good beans and really good service, because they haven't quite hit the mark here. And weirdly, I was walking past a little bit of a shop front and I thought, oh, there's a little space. And then from that point there, I spoke to the landlord, I spoke to the neighboring businesses, and the process kind of started there. What did I know about running a coffee shop? Absolutely nothing. I did have a little bit of business knowledge, of course, having had a couple of other businesses prior to the coffee shop, but I saw a need and then I just jumped in and I found my feet, along the way. And I've made a lot of mistakes, even mistakes that I probably shouldn't have made, but I actually love that learning process. So there's 2 opportunities there. One is going with a passion idea, and then the other one is seeing an opportunity. And then when we think about the sisterhood, just as another totally different way of coming up with a business idea, it was literally bringing all my girlfriends together at a luncheon a couple of times, of course, and I sat back and just listened. And I just listened to what the ladies were talking about, stories that they were sharing, some of their struggles, some of their wins. And that's where I realized that we are stronger together. Like, we need to come together and support each other and be there for each other and help each other move and progress forward in life. And so I wanted to share that with the world. And therefore, that's how sisterhood kind of, the idea started for that one as well. So as you can see, there's many, many ways you can do this. So if you've got no idea where to start from a business idea perspective, what you could do, and what I would recommend, is get a piece of paper or carry a handbook, or if you're one of those people that likes to operate on your mobile phone, have your notes section open with business ideas. And like, I still have that on my phone today, and I have paper all over my office because I have ideas, millions of ideas on a daily basis. But start writing them down. If you've got a specific idea, start writing down everything you can just think about with regards to that idea, and just get it out of your head to start with. Because in order to come up with good ideas and to make things happen, we have to clear space. And so we have to get stuff out of our brain and our mind so that we can have that creative power. So if you don't know what you want to do at the moment, you need to maybe change your environment. Go out somewhere different, start listening to people, listening to conversations. And that moment you kind of decide, I want to start a business, but I don't know what that is right now. And it's, at the forefront of your mind, you are going to start listening to what people are saying. And the business idea is going to come. That is for sure. And for those people that think that they're too old, so I was in Bali recently and I was speaking to this absolutely gorgeous lady. And she asked me what I did. And I'm like, oh, I've got this and I do this and I've got this business. And she kind of sat there and went, oh, my goodness, you sound so busy. I'm like, well, not really, because here I am in Bali with all these businesses still operating while I'm here. But of course, business drives me. I'm a pretty driven person and quite ambitious, and I just love it. So I'm very passionate about it when I talk about it too. But I said to her, tell me a little bit more about you, though. She moved over here from overseas and, dabbled in a little bit of work, but then had a family quite young. And she was, CEO of the household and got busy and supported her husband. And this lady wasn't much more than maybe 50 years old. And she said, Laurie, I wish I had have started a business. It's just time's got away from me. I said, well, you're not going anywhere tomorrow. You're still young. And if we sit here and think, I still don't have an opportunity at 50 years old, you could have anywhere from, 20 to 40 years ahead of you. And I think about that all the time because my grandfather was 93 years old. And I'm thinking, well, if I was 50, I've got 43 years. Can you imagine how many things you can still get done in 43 years? You could learn languages, you could move countries, you could start 20 businesses if you wanted to. It's pretty exciting to think of all the opportunity you have with time. But what you can't do is think, I'm at the end of my life. Oh, I haven't got time to fit anything more in. I said to her, you can still do this if this is something that you want to do. And she said, I just don't know what I would want to start a business with, but I'm definitely interested, which is great. So I said, use this retreat, use this week in Bali here, listen to what the ladies are saying and just embrace every moment and enjoy the right now and be present. And you will start to see what your friends and these women that you're meeting are needing, what they're needing in their life. And so I suggest the same thing for you, is just to listen, start listening to people. And of course, write down these business ideas as well. And I was thinking about the other day as well, I was like, how many people, really successful entrepreneurs and business people, some of them were quite older in life. And the one that really comes to my mind is the old Colonel Sanders. God love him. Harlan Sanders, the founder of KFC, obviously, but he didn't start his KFC journey until the age of 65. So if I have got that long to organize a few businesses, you do too. He was really successful. Eventually, he sold that off for $2 million. Another really good business person was Ray Kroc from McDonald's. I don't know if you've seen the movie that shows you a little bit about that, but he was 52 when he turned it into that really global takeaway fast food kind of empire there. Obviously, it was founded by two different people, but he was the mastermind that came in and then converted that and made it big. But he was 52 years old when he did that, just from an idea. He just sat there and he was looking at that business and going, wow, that's a well-oiled machine. We could franchise this. And then boom, so much happened. So I do apologize for my voice today. I'm a little bit croaky. I'm coming down with something, but I just really wanted to talk to you guys about this for a couple of reasons. It actually woke me up this morning. I'm like, oh, this has to be said. What I love about these successful business owners who have started, later in life, like Colonel Sanders, Vera Wang, Ray Kroc, is that these guys, they have a bit of an advantage in a way, right? Because they have more life experience. And I feel like as we're older, we've actually learned how to cope better. We have better coping mechanisms. You have more knowledge, you have more resources, you have a broader network as well to, help get you through and establish all these. So I think the key here is just to think it's never too late to start a passion, whether that's a business or even just starting something new. I think it was Samuel L. Jackson who was 40 years old before he started acting in Pulp Fiction, and now he's, a megastar as well. Like, how amazing. He just didn't give up. I just love that. So age obviously doesn't matter if you have a dream or something that you want to do. So when I think about all of my businesses, I've literally started from scratch. I've had literally no idea what on earth I was doing. I've dabbled in different areas of business as well. So, that's no excuse either. I think the key thing here is that I just started. I had an idea and I guess I just did a little bit every single day. Now, of course, once you've got all your business ideas down, where to from here? What do you do next? Well, to be fair, there are so many free resources out there. You can Google it. Every single government has business plans, online. There is a million coaching and mentoring companies out there, including myself, who's been doing it for 5 years, mentoring other businesses. There's just so much support out there where you can reach out and ask someone to help you set this up. But there's certainly free resources as well. There's also membership groups as well that you can join. What I like about having a mentor, and I'm not saying you always have to pay for a mentor, because I personally have reached out to a friend's husband and said to him, would you mentor me? And he's like, what does that mean? I'm like, I don't know. And we just met for coffee and I just picked his brain about business and asking questions and how do I do this and how do I do that? And how do you do this and how do you do that? So there is just so many ways and opportunities. And I have a business mentor all the time. And sometimes I change them out because I want to focus on a different area. Like it might be branding related. It might be, about leadership for me. It may be surrounding myself with other people that are way smarter than me, that have got their businesses, from a scale perspective. But the impact of mentoring for me, when I started that first business, for example, it was a passion project, I think, as I said, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was just learning along the way. And I did really well at the start. But like many businesses, it started to slip away. It didn't help that I moved overseas at the time without any, solid structure in place. And I lost my key staff members while I was overseas as well. So, everything kind of came crashing down over a 2-year period. But I looked back at that business and thought, oh, do I stay overseas or do I go home and build it? And I'm like, no, I want to go home and build it. I still have this passion for it. And I still, I've created jobs and I've looked after so many people that have come through the doors of our gym that I don't think it's over yet. So I came back from overseas and I think I Googled mentor for gyms or something like that and found an amazing company who I still mentor for now, called Two Brain Business, who are fabulous. They helped me improve my gym. Within 3 months, I'd improved my revenue by 32%. But not only that, I had support, I had clear direction and focus, and I started to implement these processes and systems. Sure, I know processes and systems, but not to the level required to run my business and optimize it or automate it in this, smooth way. So that was a game changer for me. And obviously since then, I've been in love with mentoring ever since, hence why I wanted to become one. And so I just love that. But there's other, value here. The good thing when you're in a mentoring organization is that knowledge and experience of that person. Or if you're in a group, the same thing. Or if you've just linked up with your friend's husband who runs an extremely successful business, they've got this massive value of networking and experience that can help you, I guess, remove some of the foreseeable mistakes that you could potentially be making. They're going to set you up for success. They're going to share their wisdom and knowledge. And I just love it. And they may link you up with other people to help you with, business collaborations or referrals in any way. So when you're coming up with these ideas of potential business ideas, you've got to understand your personal strengths and your own interests. And as you can see, for me, with the gyms, I've always been a fitness fanatic my entire life. So there's definitely passion there. And then helping others do the same thing. Like even in the army, I was really good at the fitness assessments. That was the easy part for me. But I would see some of my peers struggling. And back then I would go up to them. I remember going up to this one girl saying, if you want, I will be more than happy to get up with you at 5 o'clock in the morning and we can start running. So be consistent with running and we can start trying to drop this time down so that you can reach the time requirements for the run as part of our fitness assessment. Now, let me tell you, this was winter in Canberra. So 5 a.m. isn't pleasant. 5 a.m. isn't pleasant at the best of times unless you're in sunny Queensland, but Canberra was bloody cold. Anyway, she committed to that. And I think we did it for about her test that she had to do again was about 4 weeks later or something like that. And that's, we did it 3 days a week, rah. She got down the time she passed the fitness assessment. So if you think about it, if I go way back, that's always been an interest to me to help people in that fitness space. So having a gym now I've still got 2 gyms overseas, it's a passion for me. And I think it will always be a part of my life. But the other part to that is, what are your, and coffee. My other one, coffee. Obviously, I love coffee. If you don't know me, coffee and wine are the two things there. And so obviously starting a business that you're passionate about, learning all about the beans and the science behind how all of that works, that was fascinating to me. I was really interested. And when you have that interest and that drive, you want to spend every minute in your business and design it and make it the best and rah. So those were easy for me. And of course, with the sisterhood, well, do like to talk, do like to socialite with my besties. It's my favorite thing in the world, and it absolutely fills my cup. And so here we are. So have a think about, reflect on your own skills and experiences. And what do you ask yourself? What do I genuinely enjoy doing? What activities make you lose track of time? Or make you feel like this sense of accomplishment? For me, like helping someone achieve their, and pass their fitness assessment, that was amazing. Helping someone increase their revenue so they don't shut down their business, that's rewarding for me. So there's many things there that you could, think about from just your own self. And then the other part to that is listen to others. And then see where the two combine, what someone else's needs are versus what you're passionate or good at. And do they meet in the middle somewhere? Because I think that's the key part there. Just on my recent trip to Bali, I was reading a book. And I don't know if many of you have heard of this. I love it. It's a concept called ikigai, which is a Japanese term, which represents the intersection of what we love, what we're good at, and what the world needs, and what can be paid for. So for you, if you would think about circles, and you created those 4 circles where each circle interlocks, and you fill that out. What do I love? What am I good at? What does the world need? And what can be paid for? And if you haven't read that book, take a look. There's also some documentaries on Netflix, and obviously you can Google the concept there. It's quite an interesting topic if you're trying to find your purpose as well. So really good for a business idea. But for me personally, it was just going back in time and really, 1, I'm always looking for opportunity, and 2, I stay within the realms of what I either enjoy, my passions, and also what I feel like I'm good at, or what someone else tells me I might be good at. Because sometimes if you can't tell what you're good at, ask your bestie, or ask, a parent or someone that you're close to. Some good examples of passion where businesses became, they were born out of personal passion are things like that online business called Etsy. That's founded by all these crafters and artists who have turned hobbies into an online marketplace. And for you, maybe you're quite crafty and creative, and that's a platform on which you could create a little mini shop. Another one that I just absolutely love is Sarah Blakely. She was the founder of Spanx. And for her, it was about finding a comfortable and flattering undergarment, which led her to her shapewear brand and of Spanx. And I mean, once you get to a certain age, most of us will know what Spanx are. But there has to be times where you've sat around going, I wish I had this, or this would help me tonight, or something like that. When you've decided that you want to start a business, all these thoughts, it'll be clear to you that that is a potential business idea. And again, write it in your book, write it in the notes section of your phone. Okay. And then obviously Tesla was the same. So Elon Musk, he had this interest in sustainable energy and electric vehicles. And of course, next minute, we've got the Teslas out there all over the streets, actually, don't we? So, turning a passion into a business not only brings you fulfillment, but can also resonate with many customers who potential customers who share similar interests. So it's going to go back to, how do we do all this? Firstly, mind mapping. Everyone knows that I'm a big lover of a whiteboard. So all I would just say is just brain dump every single idea. Think about, what are my interests? What are my skills? What are my potential business ideas? Have 4 columns, just like in that Ikigai concept there as well. Have your 4 areas of maybe 4 columns of, what do I love? What am I good at? What does the world need? And what can be paid for? There's so many ways that you could do this. It's just got to work for you. Other things are things like, what other problems do you face? So if you were to write down, any sort of problems that you or someone else is facing, what are the solutions that you can provide? Like when you just sit there and have conversations with people, you're going to hear problems, because everyone's talking about problems more so than solutions. Your job then is just to come up with solutions and then work out if that's something that you believe you can turn into a business idea. Of course, you can go through things like SWOT analysis and then move into target audience analysis. So really creating a customer persona. We're getting a little bit more detailed here, but it's something that we work on, and I think it's absolutely critical. And, understanding the persona of your potential customer or your ideal customer is understanding their pain points and then how you can address them through your business, which again, is just solving problems. But of course, we can't solve the world's problems. So you've got to be very specific. We don't want a business that's just general. We want to solve, I would recommend solving, be good at one thing first before you try and do it all. And then lastly, research. Do some research out there. See what else is out there, what other businesses are out there. Sometimes running business by yourself can be hard for many reasons. You might not necessarily have all the skills to be able to run all areas of your business, but also we've got life thrown in there as well, and other commitments and responsibilities, which can lead to overwhelm and burnout and, significant lifestyle changes. If I think way back to when I didn't have a business, back when I was in the army as well, I'd have 6 weeks of holidays in one go, and I'd go off traveling and do whatever. Now I'm always thinking about my businesses. I don't necessarily turn off for 6 weeks at a time, but to be fair, nor do I want to, because I've got this newfound passion, and I have responsibilities too. So just note that these are the things that can happen. And yes, you're going to optimize your systems and automate things so that you're not necessarily required all the time, but you are still required to lead these businesses. And with that is things like, the landscape is constantly changing and you need to evolve with it. So you are constantly going to be brought into your business. So some things you can think about is having business partners. I reached out to Tegan and Lauren to join me in the sisterhood journey for that very reason. Well, 2 reasons. One, they both got skills that I think are amazing, and are certainly better than me. And 2, I'm hanging out with my besties and I get to speak to them 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 days a week. Happy place for sure. But you've got to think about any sort of lifestyle changes that are going to come and overwhelm. So you could collaborate with somebody else, but you've got to make sure that no matter what, your business idea aligns with your values. And that is absolutely critical. And you can't change that for anyone. You can't change your business to someone else's values. Same with staff. You don't hire staff unless their values align. And so you've just got to keep that in mind as well. If you don't know what your personal values are, you can find that out. I'm sure there's plenty of free resources out there. We have a Design Your Life course, which helps you find your purpose, find where you're at right now, where you're going. It helps you understand your values and all that as well. So you could jump in and take a look at that course if it's something that you're interested in. But, you've also got to manage your stress, your own stresses, and find whatever you call balance. Because I struggle with this balance. I think balance means switching off completely from work. And some people might feel that, but for me, it's not necessarily that. For me is making sure that I have incorporated my non-negotiables, and that I do have slower days or time with my friends or an overnight away, or I'm traveling whilst working because I'm experiencing new things. Like, balance for everybody will be different. So your lifestyle will change once you start, any sort of business, but, you just adapt along the way, and you've got your support, have a good, strong support network. Super, super important. But anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to tell you today, was how do you find a business idea? And it's never too late to start. So if you are wondering how you do that, there's a few methods throughout that I've discussed today. Brain dump everything, all your ideas. Think about your skills. Think about what the world needs, the solutions that you could potentially provide for any of those. And then what would people pay was the other component to that as well. Anyway, I'll leave you there today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you need any support whatsoever, you're interested in one-on-one mentoring, doing our Business Foundations course, doing our Design Your Life course, we've got a bunch of resources as well. We've also got our free members room for women where we collaborate, connect, and we run a lot of free workshops in there as well. I'd love to see you in there. Please like or subscribe to our podcast, and hopefully I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for joining us on the Sisterhood Collective podcast. Remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. And if you want to be the first to hear what is new at Sisterhood Collective, you can find out more on our Instagram, or you can sign up to receive our weekly newsletter and let the good times continue to roll. Now it's time to turn your clear vision into bold action. I'm Laurie Drummond, your host, and until next time, keep striving to live that best life. Take care, and we'll see you soon.